Okay. What is a median? Well, before we can you can visualize what a median is, we need to draw a triangle, nice big triangle on our piece of paper. Will you grab me? Right there to your right there. Or no, grab me one of those right there. Those protractor thingamajiggers. Perfect. Thank you. So draw yourself a triangle here. A median is a segment whose endpoints are a vertex and a midpoint. I actually purposely made this one 1, 2, 3 long. That right there is the midpoint of that segment. A median is a segment I draw that goes from the vertex to the what? That is a median. This is triangle ABC. Call that D. So CD is a median. Where else could I draw a median? How many medians do you think I could draw on this triangle? You could draw 3. Well, I also kind of made this one 5, so that would be 1, 2, right there, right in the middle. So what could I say about AE? AE is a what? And believe it or not, I don't even have to measure to draw the next median. Because it turns out that the medians of a triangle always meet at what's called a concurrent point. A point where 3 or more lines intersect at the same place. So BF is a median. Goes from the vertex to a what? Midpoint. That's what a median. That's what a median does. Okay? How many medians can you draw in a triangle? 3. Now, EF, we'll call that G. G is called the centroid. Now, why is it called the centroid? Well, because it's where the centroid is just where the 3 medians meet. Now, I'm going to zoom in a little more. Has everybody got the other stuff down? Because I just want to make this picture a little bigger when I show this to you. another thing happens at the centroid where the three medians meet. If this distance is x, you know what the distance from here to here has to be? It's 2x. So the distance from the centroid to the midpoint is a third of the total distance, and this is 2/3 of the total distance. Right here, if this is y, the smaller part's y, the bigger part's what? If the smaller part here, we'll call it z. What's this one? Well, that's fun, isn't it? This is what we'll use the most in this section. I'm drawing another picture up here. It's funny, if you're watching the video, you're seeing me draw, but I've froze it so you guys aren't seeing it. What we're going to do is freeze that right now. I'm going to do this up on the board, and I just want you to watch. We're going to answer some questions about this. First thing I'm going to tell you is that all of these are medians. Okay? Now, let's zoom out. Sorry, Austin, got the back of your head, Bob. I'm trying to move this thing over. I'm going to go up to the board and work a problem, so I'm going to try to move this to where... No, we're all right. What's odd is it won't show the picture. Well, that's really odd. You guys should see is what it dim the light. Turn one of those light switches off. It's like it's inverting the color. Interesting. Steve, why don't you scoot over a little bit? I mean, or Seth, why don't you scoot to the right a little bit? Other right. One more, a bunch. Jay Sean, scoot over too. Juby, be short. Lean back. That is so odd. Maybe if I zoom in more, it'll get... Huh. Well, I like to be able to work up on the board some. And, you know, I haven't hardly gotten to do that with you guys at all because I'm trying to record the lessons so you guys can see them. So we'll try this, see how it works. Okay. On this one right here, this can be really easy or it can be really hard. You're going to have three types of problems on these. First one, let's say I said to you that GF is equal to 5. And then I asked you to find what is BG equal to and what is BF equal to. Now, let's look at the picture up here. I said GF is what? 5. So this big part is 5. Remember I told you guys, it turns out when you draw the three medians, it always breaks up into this one's X, this one's what? So, and this is the easy one. It's really easy to see. If this is 5, that's just X, what's this one got to be? Super easy, isn't it? But so this one has to be what? B to G has to be what? What's the whole thing B to F got to be? It's always going to work out like this. Here's one part. This up top part's going to be what? Two more parts, isn't it? See, here's X, 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 right? See how it breaks it up into 1/3 and then what? 2/3 and then the whole thing? That type of problem is really pretty easy. Agreed? What about this one? Oh, I'm sorry. We probably in this row, since we don't have that one, now he's gone. Let's move everybody back one so you can see what we do. Because that's the worst seat in the house. It wasn't as bad with Mr. Lyford, he seems left-handed. With me, it's bad. But you guys didn't need to teach you guys about it. He did teach us last much. Now, let's see number 2. Well, let's say I said that AG was equal to 16. Find GE and AE. Okay, I said that A to G is what? 16. So, remember how these work out. If this is X, this one's what? 2X. So how's this length going to relate to this one? This one is twice of this one, right? So if I'm going this way, I need to cut it in. Does that make sense? So what would this one be? Right? What would the whole thing be? The whole thing would be 24. There's always going to be the small part, the one that's double that, and then the what? The whole thing. That's not so bad, right? This is the one that messes with people. Say I said DC is equal to 12. Find DG and find GC. Now, what did I say? DC was 12. So I'm saying the what? The whole thing is 12. Remember I said if this is X, this one's what? That's on video, that's awesome. Might have to rewind that, but watch it again. Sit up. You're not falling asleep. Hey, nobody's in school shape after 2 weeks being off, okay? We're all having to bear down today, including myself. Now, here's the deal. Think about it though. This is 1/3. This is one part of the 3, and this is what? So the whole thing is what? 3 what? X is equal to what? 12. How can I find what each part is? Divide it by what?
2, 3.
So this is one part, a third of it, and this is 2 of the 3 parts, making it 8. Doesn't that add up? See how you break it into thirds? So that means the smaller part is what? 4, the larger part is what? So you broke that down. People struggle with that because it's kind of like a fraction, isn't it? You have to think of it kind of as a fraction. This is 1/3. This one is what? 2/3 of the whole distance, right? Okay, it's basically broke up into, it's 1/3 and then 2 out of 3? Huh? Well, they're going to give you problems where they give you the whole thing. And they're going to say find the 2/3 of it and 1/3 of it. Oh no, those problems you're going to have to find what the third is. You know that's 1/3 and that was what? Yeah. I'm just saying how in this situation, how they relate to each other. It always works out that the centroid breaks it up into what? That's 1/3 of the total distance, and this part is what? 2/3 of the total distance. That's all. All right, let's get that workbook out. And we practice and do a few more problems. It'll probably make a little more sense. And in fact, on this one, see if you guys can do those. Okay, in the first one, they say GE is 8. Well, if this is 8, if this is a centroid, they're all medians. So if this is 8, what's this one? We didn't really get into that. I started dealing with, oh, I'm sorry. If this one's 8, what's this one? Because it's a median, that means it cuts it in half, right? Okay, DF, D to F, that's from here to here, is what? What's D to H then? DI is 7, what's DE? That makes this one what? Taking the whole thing? You guys can do that, can't you? Now we're getting into the ones I was doing up there. Okay, find the measure of xn if kx, k to x is 26. So that right there is 26, right? What's x to n then? Is that the smaller part or the bigger part? And it's always half the what? Bigger part. So what's it? 13. Right here, jx. J to x, that's the bigger part, is what? Oh, no, I'm sorry, they ask what is jx if x to m is 25? Is the x to m, is that the bigger or the smaller part?
That's the smaller.
That's the smaller part. The other part's always twice the smaller part, isn't it? So what's that mean it is?
50.
Easy peasy. L to x. L to x is what? 41. Then they ask what x to O is. Is that the bigger part or the smaller part?
Bigger.
This is the one they gave you is the bigger part. They asked you, they want to find the smaller part, so what am I going to do? Divide this by 2, so it'd be 20.5. Now, everybody jump down to number 10. What in the world are you going to do on something like that? Looks like algebra. I probably need to create an equation, don't I? They tell me that PU is x plus 3. UQ is 2x minus 17. How do those relate to each other? They're equal because these are medians, meaning it cuts it in half. So my equation would be what? X plus 3 is equal to what? All I got to do is solve for x, isn't it? It's not so bad, is it?